Hey guys, I'm Jacob, and for those who don't know, I make YouTube videos, and for those who do know, I made a video about how to get better sound, and I'm going to be continuing that as a series with this video of how to get better lighting. I'm just going to give you guys a couple basic tips, and I'm going to be using 3 lights that are just kind of like lights you can get around the house. They're just lamps, and I've rigged one of them so I'm able to have it on a stand, and the other ones just clip on to things, so they're pretty useful. Now today we are just using the available light. I have a window to my left, and that's just the only light source we have right now. Now it's getting a little bit dark out, so we want to be able to use these lights so we don't always have to rely on sunlight. So I'm going to close the blinds for the window and then turn on this light right in front of me. It's going to just be the main source of light, the main key light, and that'll help to just add a source of light directed towards me. So I'm going to do that right now. Now that we have the key light set up, it looks pretty good. It's a lot more controlled, and we did have to change the color temperature because these are a little bit warmer than daylight. So just remember to change the color temperature and have it specific. These are specifically, I believe, 27 Kelvin. Now this looks pretty good, however it's a little harsh. You're able to see a lot of the oiliness of my face, and we don't like to do that because it's kind of gross. So let's add a little bit of diffusion just to break down the light and soften it a bit. This will also help just to make it more pleasing looking. So I'll do that right now. Now this looks a lot better. What I did was just add a bit of tissue paper in front of the light source, which allowed to kind of break down the distance from my face to the light, and it helped to kind of spread the light a little bit more, so it was a lot more softer than what we initially had. The key light is now set up, so you could add a secondary light just to fill in the shadows. For my case, I don't really need that. I kind of like the shadow drop off. But another light you would want to add is something for the background, because as you noticed, the background got a lot darker because the light source is now directed towards me and not really spreading all over like it was with the window. So we'll want to add another light source to the background just to add some more interest and make it seem like the room is kind of full. So let's do that right now. I added the background light to the darker side of me just to add a little bit of separation. So now this darker side has a lighter background to it, and this brighter side has a darker background. So it adds a little bit of a pattern to it, and it's a lot more pleasing to the eye to look at. And it adds a bit of separation from me and the background. Now if we want to add a little bit more of separation, we can add another light, and that will be our third light. This one will be pointed towards the back of my head, more towards the cheek, to add a bit of separation and a rim light around the subject, which is me. So let's do that right now. Okay, that's The rim light is now pointed towards my cheek and kind of the back of my head, and it adds a bit of just separation from the background like I was saying. And it does highlight kind of this area, so it gives it a more dramatic look, and it's a lot more pleasing to look at. And that's kind of what we want to do with lighting, is just make a pleasing image. However, I do have some weird shadows on this side, and the rim light is a bit on the brighter end, so you might want to kick that back. What I'm going to do is just adjust these a little bit, make some fine adjustments, and add a bit of color to this light, because that adds a little bit more interest to the shot, and a lot of people are liking that, so it's kind of a trendy thing to do. As well as that, I'm going to change the color of the background light, because it's a little bit blue and I might not like that. However, I might keep it, so we'll see in just a second. I'm going to make those fine adjustments and we'll get the final shot. So this is the final shot. This is all of the lights set up in just about the right order that I want them to. This light back here for the rim light was a little dark, but it still gives me that little bit of hint of a light source on my left side, and the shadows on this side were fixed. That was just an issue with the rim light actually. The spill was just going out all over, so I just put a little bit of tissue paper, like more opaque tissue paper, which helped to kind of cut down the light that was coming off one of the sides. This looks a lot better from what we started with, and it didn't take much effort or time, and it was just only 3 lights. So if you guys are interested in stuff like this, some more video tips, let me know in the comment section below. I'm also going to be making a few more videos on sort of tips for video, so if you guys are interested, subscribe, and as always, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. I'm not a professional, so yeah, don't take all of these tips to heart. I will be taking a class on lighting, so some of these tips might change, but this is the information that I have right now, so I think it's pretty good anyways. Alright. Cut. Let's run that back.